What's good? This is Excellence is Understatement Podcast, and we're your hosts, Brandon Mayshak, Mimi, and we got Tevin over here. What's good with y'all today?
Poppin'.
Yeah.
No,
well, I guess what you saying, Tevin?
Another day, man.
Nah, I feel you.
Another day.
Well, I guess I'll start. Since everybody act like they didn't do anything in the last 2 weeks, but I just got back in town. You know what I mean? Had a good trip to Florida, Panama City.
Oh, yeah, you did go on like a little mini vacation.
Yeah. It was. It might have been my only first or second time getting out the state this year, but yeah, pretty much me and some homies. And some friends, we just went to Panama for their birthday for a little bit. Rented a car, Orlando, Kissimmee, see some folk, and then went to see the family down in South Florida, Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale. So it's a good time. Back now, it's been a week. I've needed that most definitely, but it's just time to work again. Now my knee already hurting from 500 deadlift today, but it's all good.
Lord have mercy.
What's up, man? I mean, what's going on, y'all? I mean, shoot. You alive? What's up? What y'all thankful for? I don't know.
Nah, man, I've been busy, man. Literally, like, just busy as hell. Military shit.
Yeah.
My own stuff. Game. Everything's been just pulling me in all different directions. So I'm a little lethargic at the moment.
How's the game nights and stuff been going and progressing?
Bro, faster than I can, really keep up with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Should be lit.
Bro, what? But you find yourself like having to split yourself into two different people. I'm over here with these people. It's a lot of entertaining.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh man, you have a fun night, it's like, yeah, to a certain degree, but I'm working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I have to entertain people and make sure they're having a good time, and they learn the game and teach them the game, and everybody kind of wants a little bit of your attention. So I'm just a little bit all over the place doing my game nights, but I mean, it's a good problem to have at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a great problem to have.
It's like, have you ever thrown your own party? Nobody ever has fun at their own party that they throw.
Well,
unless they have it really set up.
No.
So it's like, I kind of think of it like that. Like,
I threw parties in college. I threw parties when I got to the military. So like, I enjoy my parties for the most part, but that's because this is literal like business, this is work.
Oh, okay.
Me throwing a party, once I throw it, I have everybody that I have talked to, all the homies.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of give y'all little certain things to look out for,
Yeah.
so we can all enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's different,
Right.
I'm gonna enjoy myself now. That's not gonna be the issue.
Right. No, I feel you on that. Well, what about you?
I've been pretty busy trying to make new products for my cleaning business.
Okay.
Not only do I want to actually clean houses, but I'm in the process of making cleaning supplies and making candles.
So what goes into making cleaning supplies for the most part?
Really, right now I'm into just learning as much as I can as far as which cleaning supplies, which different chemicals will work. Smells is very important. Especially with it's just a lot. I'm trying to work with allergies and stuff that's safe for the kids. Yeah. I'm really trying to do something that's eco-friendly. So right now I'm just in the, trying to get educated on that. I think I'm going to go ahead and start experimenting this week. And then I'm also going to start making candles because, a house is never clean until you light a candle. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see how that goes.
I'm an incense guy, but I feel you on the candles.
I ain't hella incense.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. You gotta do some candles every now and then, too, man. Incense are cool, but, bro,
that candle?
Yeah. Or, what is it, the little, one with the oils at the top?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I love those, too.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know what they're called. Yeah, those. But it's lit.
Yeah, so just getting that together. My birthday is actually next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Squad.
So we're going to have a birthday brunch at the house. Then we're going to LA. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to Miami for my friend's birthday. Mm-hmm. So it's been pretty busy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, Brandon.
What's
we
up?
ain't did no quote. Like, what's your quote today?
So I got a quote here from Chadwick Boseman, and this kind of hits different when, of course, you know the situation.
Yeah.
But he said you have to cherish things in a different way when you know the clock is ticking. You are under pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, you have to cherish things when you know cherish things different when you know the clock is ticking. You are under pressure. And so, yeah. I mean, we already know how that hits.
That hit, man.
You know, so.
You know what? For me, in that situation, I don't think it really hit hard, mainly because, and not like in a bad way. I just feel like
he's at peace.
It's at some point you got to look at like he is done with his job. He's done what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not really sad for him actually. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people are sad, and I don't mean that to be insensitive, but I feel like a lot of people are sad because it's like, I can't get what I got from you. You were entertaining me. So, like, you know, certain roles, I'm mad because now who's going to play Black Panther or whatever? But it's like, bro, like...
Don't minimize that man of Black Panther.
But I'm saying, like...
He's just saying, like...
Oh, no, I wasn't... I'm talking to these people.
Yeah, I'm like...
You know what I'm saying? I just would post, but go ahead.
The man was successful. He did what he did. You know, he knew who he was. He was confident who he was. He shaped the world in a different way, and he did it on his own terms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when he was sick, nobody knew he was sick. And he still gave y'all great works, right? He still did what he believed in, and he passed. I don't feel like in a I ain't gonna say a terrible way, 'cause I don't know per se on like the you know the ones and twos about it, but I mean I just felt like he did what he's supposed to do on this earth, and at some point it's like he got caught on, and I don't feel like it's not anything sad about that, you know.
Those are my same sentiments. I mean I only say hit a little bit different because when I say that I'm talking for people in general, you know. I'm not talking out of my.
He's like 43. Yeah, he's like.
Yeah, I'm not talking out of my. Yeah, I'm not talking out of my own opinion. Oh, we got the same middle name. No, but
this guy.
but no, when I look at it, you know, I look at it. Yeah, man, the man fulfilled God's purpose in his life, and to be honest, as a person who really shares a similar faith as Chadwick, I mean. In our eyes, life is way longer than this physical experience.
For sure.
And so I'm thinking like, yo, that man moved like a king. He really was a king here, and now he's getting his heavenly reward in the kingdom. You know what I mean? And I look forward, hopefully not soon, but to meet him someday in that. And so but I think people do have to embrace the idea that a long life is cool. But a life lived in its purpose is more important. And sometimes it's a situation where you don't have to live up to 80 years old to fulfill your purpose. Hey, maybe you've lived so much longer because maybe your creator's still waiting on you to fulfill your purpose. And that's just kind of my perspective
deep.
on it. Yeah.
But I mean, you even said this soon. You was like, well, hopefully it's not soon. But I mean, like, to me, it's like, it comes when it comes, right? If it comes, then I've done literally. It shows.
I still want to have a family, kids with the picket fence and the dog. So
not the picket
please,
fence.
y'all answer those prayers for me. You know what I mean? But you know, so
my
for
boy
me,
said the picket fence.
Yeah, come on, the little picket fence with the dog and the kids running in the yard. Come on, man.
I don't want no picket fence.
Okay, bro. I'm just talking junk. Like I'm just talking junk. I do want a fence though.
So let's talk about someone who.
Well, I mean, how did you when you saw that?
Oh, when I found out.
Yeah, your reaction.
First of all, I was shocked. I didn't want to believe it at first.
That was fake too.
Yeah, I thought it was fake. Cause I'm like, man, stop playing.
Like Hooligan? Nah.
T'Challa? No, let me stop.
Actually, always looked slim to me, even during the movie. To be honest,
I did. What did I say? T'Challa?
You might well call him Nutella, like T'Challa.
My bad. But look, like I didn't want to believe it at first. But I was like, man, this was a great man, and the fact that when he posted a picture on social media when he lost a lot of that weight, a lot of people were being insensitive and didn't know what he was going through, and they made jokes. And I feel like that right there was a wake-up call for us to say, you know, let's stop talking about people because you never know what people are battling. You don't know what they're going through. This man literally was going through cancer, chemo, and was still giving us the best of the best. Like, he was doing all these movies. he went to St. Jude's to visit cancer kids.
And how humble he is too. You know, you gotta think about that. The man is so humble, and that's the most powerful thing about him. Like when he talks with a lot of humility. That's something I personally really try to work on because I know I can be this guy sometimes. And so I look at that example with him, just the humility aspect too.
This man was great. Like, but the speech that he gave to the graduating class, like, you know, like he was just really a great guy. And it's sad because we lost a really great guy, someone that a lot of people look up to. Our kids looked up to him as far as, you know, like with him being the Black Panther, like how blessed you were to be in that role, and you took it and you made something so great out of it.
No, I want to say,
and not just that movie, but he played Jackie Robinson. He played James Brown. Like these movies figures that he played in, like he always gave us his best, even when he didn't even feel like it. I can't imagine you going through chemo and still saying, you know what, even though I just got married, even though I have cancer, I'm about to go do this movie because my fans need me, like the people need me. They need to see this. You feel me?
But you remember one of the first quotes we said on this podcast. And my mom even came back and said this, Sasha. At the end of the day, there's always somebody in the world going through more than you, but at the same time doing more than you. And so for me, it's doing more than you. And so for me, I look at it like, you can't imagine. But I don't know, like when my grandparents died, like we were still working. We was in church the same day, you know, my grandmother passed. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of see on my life, just because of what I grew up believing in, that's something that carried us through. And I really just see the same thing, you know. I think there's a pattern. If you look at Nipsey, when you look at Kobe Bryant, when you look at Chadwick, obviously Kobe Bryant was super sudden in Nipsey, but like these people had a very strong faith in something bigger than them. For sure. You know what I mean? And that's what really has carried these. And I think there's a message in that, yo. Like leaders are being called home right now, and I think it's a situation where us younger folk gotta really recognize that it's time to step up into these shoes. And as the world, you know, goes into this craziness, there's just going to be a lot more of us that need to kind of rise up. You know what I mean?
Thanks. We talked about that.
Step into these folks' shoes. So, what you got for us?
No, man. I was gonna play a little snippet, man.
I can think of no better place to be right now after the Black Panther and Avengers campaigns than to return and participate in these graduation ceremonies with you. It is a great privilege, graduates, to address you on your day, a day marking one of the most important accomplishments of your life to date. This is a magical place. Almost anything can happen here. Ain't you? Howard University has many names: the Mecca, the Hilltop. Students, your protests are also promising because many of you will leave Howard and enter systems and institutions that have a history of discrimination and marginalization. The fact that you have struggled with this university that you love is a sign that you can use your education to improve the world that you are entering. I was on a roll when I entered the system of entertainment, theater, television, and film. I stand here today knowing that my Howard University education prepared me to play Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and T'Challa.
This man gave away awards that he got.
Yeah, man, I saw that. Yeah, the MTV.
You know what I mean? Like, I really strive for that type of humility, man. Like, that's something that everybody should strive for.
Oh no, for sure, man.
Being
for
great
sure.
and not, being big-headed about it.
Being a solid dude, 100%. You know what I mean?
Damn, man.
That's respectful and commendable, man. I gotta give him an answer.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, man. So, fly, assume your throne, under the throne, Chadwick. And, hopefully we see you in the future, again.
Rest in power.
So, yeah.
Rest in heaven.
Most definitely.
Let's also talk about another black man who was taken away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not taken away from us. He was close to being taken away from us. There was a black man who got shot 7 times in his back by the police.
Yeah.
As he was getting into his car.
Mm-hmm.
When is this gonna stop?
It's not.
I mean,
it's not.
It'll stop.
No.
I mean, no. It'll stop when there's repercussions, right? It'll stop when at some point you get something from your actions, right? The reason why it's not stopping now is because I could do it, and what are going to be, what is my punishment? That's why it's not stopping. But you have to realize, I think I was listening to somebody speak, and they were talking about the system. Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was like, man, the system's working fine. It's working just fine because the system was never designed to work for us. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about, when is it going to stop? It has to be dismantled over a period of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? When can you see that happen? Right now, in my eyes, I see the fall of a government and society. I think, with everything coming up, things are... So politicians are going to move along, but I think we... to me, in my eyes, we got to dive deep. A lot of the stuff just seems more so intentional. It's not just racism. I feel like this country is really trying to destroy itself because you got to realize there's still organizations and people a part of certain things doing this stuff. And so it's like, no.
So you're saying it's strategic that they're trying to live.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing the fall of a whole society and a government.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, and I mean, and when I talk about false society and governments, I'm talking about how this happens every couple of 100 years.
Because that comes from greed. It literally comes from, at some point you get to a position, or not us specifically, but you get to a position where you start to get money, you get higher, you get all this influence, and then at some point it's not about the greater good for everybody else. Yeah. It's not about, what can I do to better the world. It's about how can I fatten my pockets, how can I set myself up.
Yep.
And you get to this point where you start to hoard all this money.
Yep.
And then I read a book where it was like, it's a fear of it, because it's like you get all of it, but then you don't want to lose it. So now it's the fear of losing it.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're trying to secure it.
Man. I think it's fear.
It's fear and greed.
You know what? It's fear in the elites, the people in power. Mm-hmm. It's fear in the
losing it, for
people.
Sure.
Yo, look, man. I'm telling you, the going through the plane experience. I was like, yo, this is the type of experience.
What do you mean?
If you just want to go off the grid. With just going to the airport, I'm wearing, I got a bandana, as a mask, and they're like, no, you gotta have an official mask. Oh, you gotta pay for it, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, you can just tell people are just scared, fearful. I seen where this one dude, he was just fixing his mask, as walking through the airport, and this girl. And this guy and girl he's walking towards, and he started grabbing her and pulling her over to the side, like as if he didn't want her to breathe. Like, yo, it's just annoying. You know what I mean? This whole thing is annoying. I don't believe a lot of stuff that's reporting on the news with the credibility of what they're trying to do with this COVID situation. That's just my stance. I think
a lot of elaborate on that part.
No, I think most people don't know these facts because the news stations they are indoctrinated on television doesn't purport them. But the CDC, like I said, has already said, oh yeah, these numbers were inflated,
Yeah, they made everything, anything you went into the office for,
and it's funny, sure. every single time a credible, real doctor does come out and say, this does work, vitamin D or sunlight, do lung oxygen or whatever, lungs. You have these news stations trying to immediately debunk it, and say, no, just wear a mask, stay inside. But scientific studies, because I actually look at resources from around the world, not just America, show that the mask and staying indoors are the things that's really, downstream music, make you more accessible. Yeah. And so it's actually, live a healthy and fit lifestyle. Like, I haven't caught COVID, and I've been around people with COVID since December, you know. I feel like my body fought off stuff. So it's like, no, it's your lifestyle. It's the food you consume, where you're getting it. Just all these, just your entire lifestyle. Like, you gotta think of Nigeria. Why just skip over Nigerians, right? But African Americans, different lifestyle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And of course, yeah, there were some cases over there, but America is the most unhealthy country, and I think just a lot of we don't gotta go into too much, but I just don't believe a lot. COVID is real, but I just don't believe like a lot of these tactics that they want to do, to say, oh, this is how we're gonna get through it. Other countries, they have healthier lifestyles than us, and I think in America it shows, but we're telling our people to do something opposite. You know what I mean? Then live a healthy lifestyle, or the news and stuff is. So, yeah, I don't believe it. You know what I mean? I don't believe him.
I ain't knocking it. My boy said, he said, I've
had family who's died from this, by the way. So I'm not talking out of somebody who hasn't experienced this.
No, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that, of course, it's a virus like anything else, and somebody is susceptible or more susceptible than others to it. So somebody could be fatally affected by it, and somebody else might not be, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody else could have it and fight it off fairly quickly and be just fine. Like you said, because it could go back to the fact that I have a healthier lifestyle.
No, it is. And blood type even goes into it, too. We don't have to go into that. But certain blood type have certain antigens, that kills O's and B's, And so A's and ABs, they are a little more susceptible. But it's all about your immune system, how strong it is, and it's like you can talk from experience, right? Mm. But people just are too fearful. And so it's fear on people's level
fear
to
and
just
lack of knowledge.
Trust. Sure. I saw somebody put this on social media. Most of y'all wouldn't have supported Martin Luther King back in the day. You would have probably been on the side of the police or whatever. And I think you can see it.
I would have been more of a Malcolm X type of. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, I hear you. I would have supported both of them, to be honest. And again, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X started to have more similar views the closer they got to death.
Right.
So, but it's a situation of we're so scared that we just trust the government that has screwed us over and over and over again. And it's like nobody's courageous enough to actually combat that or come out and say things.
But you got to realize, a lot of people aren't courageous enough, quote unquote, to do that because of look what happens when it does. Somebody's not willing to say, I'm gonna go up there, so I'm willing to take on the brunt of whatever happens. You know what I mean? Because somebody can easily say, I got a family, I got this, I got that. I can't.
People have to be willing to lay down their lives. To be honest, I think if we really want we're on war.
Right, but you also have to have a level of credibility, of course, to get to the masses for that to happen. You can't just be an average person to do it because then. Like,
of course, but it's a situation if you got to have certain leaders that people can trust in the community and people can at least rally behind them. And so, I think, that can go into that subject of with the acres, our black folk building those acres. We'll talk about, but yeah, man, people just have to be willing to, I feel like we're in war. And the moment you get emotional, you lose the war. The moment you stop thinking intellectually or accruing knowledge and stuff, you lose the war. And that's how I see what's happening in the black community and stuff that's going on in our government. We're emotional. We're just protesting aimlessly without plans.
If you had to give me right now a three-step of like what I should do to start, or what anybody could do to kind of start, if we're saying we're in a war of sorts, which we kind of are. Right, It's not a literal war. Cause I tell people all the time, you haven't seen war. You don't know necessarily what war really is.
Yeah, but you know what I mean when I say war.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying people. Yeah. People think I've had people say, "Man, we're in a war." I'm like, not yet. War is different. It's a totally different ball.
It was coming though.
No, it's been coming. It's brewing for mad long at this point. So, but what would your 3 steps be to say? You know what?
I'm not gonna repeat nothing I was saying. To get myself in the bolo.
No, not like that. We talking about it could be.
But look, number one. Okay, so
resources.
For me, word of the year is rabbit hole. Okay? Rabbit hole everything. What is a rabbit hole? Rabbit hole is when everything that you think you know or that you think you learned, your education, you go and rabbit hole that. You research your education. Where did that come from? Okay, who owns this? Who owns that? Rabbit hole these news stations. Rabbit hole your politicians and what they believe in. Rabbit hole your faith. Rabbit hole, literally everything that you think you know. And I think what a lot of people realize, especially black folk, is almost everything people have idolized or put their trust in or whatever is somewhat of a lie or somewhat of a manipulation. And so it's like, first of all, rabbit hole, everything, even the history of how this country came to be, even the history of humanity, because like even different people's beliefs and what their history are around the country, because what I feel like it shows, it's a story that's happened from the beginning of humanity to up to now. And really, it's just a cycle that's happened over and over again, but in different ways, in different nuances. And so, knowledge, rabbit hole everything, include your knowledge. Once you have that knowledge, and this is where I feel, don't go just blurting everything on social media mad crazy, because that can get you in trouble. That can get you a bolo on your head. That can get certain things. As well as, one thing I've learned is that most people don't really have the mental capacity to kind of intake such an influx of information.
Yeah, because
it's like when
you unravel. You start to take down what I thought was to be true, and too much of that can literally like crack a person.
People, I've seen it. Like it's like people will literally implode on themselves.
Yeah, it's because what you believe is starting. Is all of a lie. Like so, if your whole life, if you thought your mom and your dad was actually your mom and dad, and you wake up one day and your whole family is not your family. Yeah, you would everything you thought were told or taught would literally crack for some people. You know what I mean? It's literally a culture shock.
And so it's like for the people who are knowledgeable, okay, find other like-minded people or people with the capacity and the ears to hear you out. Spread the knowledge amongst like-minded people. Don't just try to blur it on social media, tell whatever. Everybody. It's like what Killer Mike say. Go home, plot, plan, don't destroy your own home. So I think that's number 2. After you prove the knowledge, spread the knowledge amongst like-minded people, groups, whatever, meetings. And then number 3 is literally what, the subject we're going to go into with establish your own country, militarize your own self, get into agriculture, just wean yourself off of depending on this government for anything.
Self-reliance.
Exactly. So complete self-reliance. And so that's what I feel like are the main 3 steps. And you see people going through them, which we'll get to, right? But I just really wish it was a lot more, because you just see it. It's a small group of people compared to the mass of folk, at least in our community.
That are self-reliant
that are willing to do that are willing to wean themselves off of their job, to do other things, to become an entrepreneur, to make income that they don't have to depend on the government with, or to wean themselves off of, buying mad processed stuff from stores all the time, where, they're of course we see what they're trying to do, the vaccine, you're going to have it to buy, sell, whatever. It's like, we got to become a lot more self-reliant in every way, shape, or form.
So let's talk about it. There was 19 families in Georgia who purchased over 90 acres of land. And the purpose of doing that is they want to create a community for Black people to basically keep us safe.
Yeah.
And that actually will kind of go into the idea of us forming our own country. You can form a country inside of the U.S. There's actually a guy who did it, and I'm going to post that information on our social media. But he has a whole country in the U.S. He has a population of 32 people. They pay taxes. They pay their taxes he considers as a foreign affair or whatever. But they're their own countries. They have their own rules. They even have their own money. So it's doable. We can do this. The only thing is we will have to govern ourselves. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, why don't we have the Black Panther Party come into full effect to protect our land, protect this country that,
Who's going to lead it?
Who's going to lead it? That's a good question. We would have to come together and determine that.
But see, these are the things, though. I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be the Black Panther Party. I feel like it could be whatever party or whoever decides. You know what I mean? Because I feel like at some point when you say, oh, let's bring back the Black Panther Party, do we still align or agree with everything that they align with? You know what I mean? To now it's contradictory. Because then you have somebody say, oh, that's not what they believe, or that's not how they would do it. So you literally have to just begin anew.
Well, see, I was going to actually ask you that. Do you think that the Black Party would even be successful in this day and age? Because of, yes, we are going through some of the same things as far as police brutality and such things, but different times. So do you think it will be successful in this time?
Yes, but I think the way people are and the way emotions are high at the moment, I believe that it'll get everybody inspired and enthralled and ready to do something, but what is that something, right? I think nowadays, if we had the Black Panther Party in the way that they were at that time, we would definitely be very more militant and militant-minded, and we would literally go on the offensive more than it is a defensive or protest. And they would literally be like, all right, we got to do something. Because at some point, it's like, all right, I think some people's mindsets would be, they're doing this to us, and what are we doing about it? Oh, we're marching. They're killing us, but we're marching.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad for some people. Like everybody plays different roles in a movement, right? But I personally never really agree with marching. And I'm not saying it's not productive or it doesn't do what it's designed to do. I'm just tired of us just marching. I'm tired of us just protesting. And it's like, well, and then a couple months later, it's like, oh, we go back to business as usual until somebody else gets killed, and then we're back out marching. But it's like,
we just did that. Like with the whole George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, like everybody was hot. We was out protesting.
What happened? I mean, there's still people.
Nothing. It's still people, but you didn't hear about protesting as much. And then boom, another black man gets shot 7 times. Now we're back out here. Then you got this white boy out here. He's shot 3 people.
Strategic to me, yo. Like, it's like, what are they trying to incite? You know what I mean? And so. It's like that's why I feel like they're really trying to destroy this thing down. But go ahead.
You brought up a good point about what was the kid's name?
His name is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yes. First and foremost,
everything has a criminal history, yo.
He does.
No, but listen,
he does.
Everything he did was illegal. Like everything, all the way up until. Even before he got to shooting the people, everything he did was illegal.
Did you see the video of him with the gun? The marshals are literally passing him. He's like,
none of it.
Like pretending to give up, and he walks straight up to a police car with the gun. They don't do shit. Marshals actually passed his ass. So you mean to tell me that y'all are not scared of this white boy with this motherfucking big ass gun walking down the street, but you're scared of an unarmed black man who ain't did shit?
We know why not. We know why not.
I just don't like the fact that
they did. They were, and it's just as important. It was 3 white guys he killed. I mean, but they were there for the cause. They were actually trying to help people get away. You know what I'm saying?
Well, 2 of them died. One is injured.
Okay, so we need our white allies. That's just as important.
Oh no! In a movement like this, there is going to take 2, right? And the funny thing is, it took 2 to literally build this country. Whether we got the credit for it or not,
right.
We built it alongside with them. We've done a lot of the work, the
hard work.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what do you?
Gee, you coming off the camera.
Oh, all right.
Like, so wrong
What the fuck is going on?
Look, that deadlift was kind of.
Oh no! First of all, hold on, real quick. Him and them deadlifts, bro. He go down.
Look, you gotta dig your hand into the bar. You know what I'm saying?
I was dead, yo.
Bro, my hands be sweaty, yo. My hands be sweaty, so it be slipping.
He be like.
What the hell?
Yo, I'm gonna put that on there. Trust me, so y'all can see it. It'll be just as funny as I thought.
Oh man,
Lord of mercy.
Oh, it's up. The shoulder link is what I'm gonna call it. But let's get back to it though. I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about how the police and not scared of him, but you're scared of an unarmed black man. You got to shoot him 7 times in his back in front of his fucking kids.
First of all, you don't even supposed to shoot anybody, even if they did the crime. Like, that's not why you shoot people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't shoot him because he's guilty. You don't shoot him because he did something wrong. You don't shoot him because he's resisting arrest. You know what I'm saying? That's really getting to me. I feel like if you're that fearful, because that's the whole thing they say I was fearing for my life or whatever. That is not your job to be in law enforcement. You are too scary to be in it.
I really think they be lying.
No, they are, but to a degree though, they are that scared though. You have to realize they're scared not necessarily maybe of you physically, but your potential. They're scared of the what if. They're scared of if you get onto power, if you get to this certain point.
Yeah, it's like a deep-seated thing. We're scared of the first humans on this planet. Let's not even get.
But then again, like I said, if y'all have really been paying attention to the podcast so far, the big headlines have been greed and mainly fear. Mm-hmm. The fear of either not, relying or trying to be self-reliant. The fear of jumping in, branching out there. The fear of the other person or the other race, which in this case is us. Yeah. The fear of all of these different things, and that's a big thing for me. We are scary as hell.
Yeah, man. I hate fear. If there's anything I've been praying for these days is courage and that kind of perfect love that casts out fear.
But I don't know how y'all are religious or not. I'm not trying to go hella biblical, but God said, I didn't give you the spirit of fear, bro, period, point blank. You gave yourself that fear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, bro, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What is there to be so scared of, bro? That's my thing.
It's people. I had a really deep conversation on the way to Panama, man. My cousin's girl, he's a kinesiologist. Mm-hmm. Kinesiology, that type of science. Mm-hmm. And it was talking about frequencies and how humans operate on this scale. Mm-hmm. And so the highest scales can be like 500 to 600. And basically said our figures in history, the only people who have ever reached that high of morality, 500, 600, is like Jesus and certain other figures, right? And what he said is most people in the world operate at barely a 200. And so he's like 80% of humans really operate on self-preservation, greed. And even if you come off as a nice, decent person, when things get real, your true colors come out. That study just showed that 80% of human beings really are no higher than this 200, and they really have this type of low morality that can that makes us act how we do. And if you want to look into kinesiology, is very, very interesting. But it's like the more characteristics you accrue, like integrity, like peace, like love, like certain things, you kind of climb on this chart in kinesiology. You know what I'm saying? And so what he's saying is like certain people who aren't necessarily religious, but they have a very strong, say, faith in whatever, and they more so operate in that. Some people can spike up to say like have moments where they spike up to like a 400 or a 500.
But it's because like you don't have to be religious to be a morally sound person.
You don't have to be, but I do think when people believe in something higher than themselves, no matter what you believe, a lot of times that drives people to be a better person. But people just think, it's me. Isn't this me?
It's not necessarily religion, though. It's the fact that even I believe, and maybe some people say I'm spiritual. They don't believe in an actual verbatim religion. They believe what I feel. They have a connection with God, but it's not through a person or through a necessary scripture. So it's like you don't have to be a biblical or a religious person to be a morally sound person to know what's right or wrong. You feel it. Mm-hmm. Whether you went to church or not, if you stole something, you know what I mean? They was like, dang, like I knew that wasn't right. Yeah. You know what I mean? You didn't need somebody with a Bible to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of had this instinct, and I feel like God is already in you anyway. Mm-hmm. You are one. You're connected, so like you feel it. They wasn't right.
Most people in church don't got God. You know what I'm saying?
No, everybody has it, whether you listen to it or not. The one thing God said is, I will never control you. You always have choice. So I'm in you, but I will allow you to do what you do. Yeah, you can still, you are left to your own devices.
Yeah, man, most definitely. But again, most people like, and a lot of people who even have that belief, some people don't even have as much faith, have enough faith in that to operate in that way too. And that's where test and tribulation stuff comes out, where it shows people's true colors. A lot of people bank off of, say, their parents' beliefs or what they were taught or whatever. Maybe not even had actual experience with their situation to believe it like how they think they do. And so, like, it's just a thing where people got to go through things, try to make great decisions and whatever you believe, and just be better people, man. But, human beings.
Essentially, we're talking about human beings and knowing right and wrong.
Yeah.
You were telling us something about this whole Netflix with the pedophile thing. Like, what's going on with that?
Look, I just want to say for every person, and this not even related to me, for every person who screamed conspiracy theory at somebody on the internet who said maybe 10 years ago, pedophilia is going to be legalized, in your face. I mean, look, yo, I've canceled my Netflix account. You know, I'm not going to say everybody needs to be in solidarity against Netflix with this, but basically what it is, this Cuties movie that came from France, I believe, 12-year-old girls are playing 13 and 14-year-old girls in this movie. And basically it starts with this girl, she is in Africa or whatever, she tries to break away from her culture, gets into twerking and stuff. And, you know, in the movie they're super sexualizing these kids. Just by how they move and just things that they wear, the skimpy clothing. And it's rated M. You know what I mean? It's rated M for mature. Netflix, well, now, of course, there was backlash, thankfully, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like Netflix, they try to defend it. They said, oh, well, you know, we try to respect all religious beliefs and whoop-de-whoop. Yo,
so
like, y'all wonder who's in
now?
these rooms, yo. Like so who's in these rooms talking to Netflix?
Being a pedophile is a religion now? Like, okay.
Well, actually, no. Actually, if you look into the history of humanity, in a lot of different cultures, like, no, people married and did stuff as early as 12 years old. You know, it's centuries and centuries ago. And so I think you have people who are trying to emulate that. You know, it's not like it was right, you know what I'm saying, back then, but people aren't even mature minded enough like how people were back then to even try to so it's really nasty. But yeah, no, pedophilia is in religions and beliefs.
Well, I know, I don't think I told y'all, but I used to study with Jehovah's Witness, and I did my research about them and found out that they have a lot of cases where girls and boys were getting messed on by the elders, and they would tell you, like, oh, don't go to the police, we're going to take care of this within the whole, what is it called, like, their little community or whatever.
Yeah.
Me personally, and feel however y'all feel, but the whole Jehovah's Witness, I think it gives me cult vibes. Mm-hmm. But like the fact that y'all know that a lot of these elders are messing with these kids, and y'all want to take care of it in the community, that is sickening. Like, and then 9 times 10, they're still teaching and whatever. Like, it's fucked up. Then for the parents to allow your child, knowing your child is this age, that age, and you're agreeing to, oh, let me put my child in here to make some money, and you know what they're doing to these kids, like if they're over-sexualizing them and stuff like that, why would you do that?
Look, man, you just gotta think, like, I mean, and I'm getting to your point. Netflix tried to justify it by saying, oh yeah, it also won award at Sundance, but the Sundance CEO, you know, got charged for child, you know, molestation, stuff like that. So it's like yo, like, you know, y'all gotta realize, man, our leaders have some very strong beliefs, and I think it's a situation where people need to start looking into the beliefs and the practices of our leaders, you know, all across the country. Because I mean, I'm personally not surprised anything has happened. Like, I'm one of these people who really felt like this was gonna eventually come. But we gotta fight it. I mean, yeah, but you know, but no. Maybe us, maybe certain people, but again, fear has people in denial with things. Some people can't accept. Like, again, you say this 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. People are, oh, conspiracy theory, whoop-de-whoop, you know? But look what's happened now. Look at the biggest industry blowing up. You know what I'm saying? You know, this all could bleed into the thing that happened in Georgia, right?
Hell yeah.
It's all connected, but people, you know, again, are too afraid or in denial to really wake up and see things and want to do something about it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good question.
Read that for me there, darling.
Oh, you gonna read the?
Oh Lord, you know I ain't got my glasses on.
She had my glasses. 11-year-old Amy lives with her mom, Mary, and younger brother, awaiting her father to rejoin the family from Senegal. Amy is fascinated by disobedient neighbor Angelica's free spirit dance clique named Cuties. A group that stands in a sharp contrast to Stiak Miriam's deeply held traditional values. Undeterred by the girl's initial brutal dismissal and eager to escape her family's simmering dysfunction, Amy, through and ignites awareness of her burgeoning femininity, propels the group to enthusiastically embrace an increasingly sensual dance routine, sparking the girls' hope to twerk their way to stardom at a local dance contest. Yo, let me tell you something, yo. Like, I see this in cartoons. The cartoons, people. Yo, my sister, when I visited, she's watching Disney, right? Mm-hmm. And just go ahead and look into Walt Disney a little bit, so you can know a little bit about him. But it's so obvious what they're trying to push on kids. Mm-hmm. And a lot of stuff with like making villains look like the bad guys, or being rebellious against your family and your parents, like just the over sexualization, all the little sexual things you can find in these cartoon stuff. It's like the country has been trying to create these split personalities in all of our children and warming them up. We're all over sexualized, for one. I'm over sexualized in my thinking. You are. Whatever, whether you think it or not.
You are.
Everybody is. We're all victim to it. And so situations, just being aware of that and trying to keep that in check, but it's like, yeah, we're all warmed up into a lot of this stuff from the time that we're kids and what we watch on television.
Because I remember, some of my favorite movies and TV shows that I loved as a kid, I went back and watched them as an adult, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I was listening to this? It's certain messages in it, or they would say certain things that'd be like, okay, that's not appropriate for a child. They've been doing this for years, so it's not new. Now, what is shocking is the fact that the whole 39 or 40 kids that were found in the trailer in Georgia, how that's not put on mainstream. It was 40 fucking kids in this double wide trailer that was found for sex trafficking.
I plead the blood of y'all over this podcast that we're all protected with this information we're talking about.
You know what? I literally had a conversation with Will because I used to go jogging around my neighborhood, and I probably told y'all this. Mm-hmm. But literally, as I'm going, I would literally see old ass white men or, just people breaking their necks. And I'm like, William, I don't feel safe because, for one, I'm jogging by myself. Even though this is my neighborhood, I literally have to take my keys and hold them between my things so if somebody come up to me, I can be able to jab them.
Feel like that.
Why should I do that? Yeah. Why? Is because I live in an area which is very high in sex trafficking, and women are being fucking taken away, especially black women, because for numerous reasons, but the fact that I don't even feel safe in my own community to where I don't even go jogging no more. I literally have to ask William, can you please come with me because I don't feel safe. Why the fuck is this not on mainstream? Why are these kids being taken away? We just had a whole Amber Alert yesterday. A mom is walking her fucking child in a stroller and someone comes up with her at gunpoint and takes her fucking child. Y'all are fucking disgusting.
I mean, just look into some court cases, y'all. Go to justia.doctors.com and you'll see owners of these news stations and all this stuff. All these people are wrapped up in this stuff. I mean, that's why it's not being reported. Just everybody is nasty. All our leaders are nasty.
And see, there's a lot of people who feel like the government is part of people. Some of the people that's in the government is behind a lot of the sex trafficking. Because I'm just like, bruh, how is it that we have all these missing kids?
The industry increases by 100% every single year, and that's actually why they had to move the Braves Stadium out to here.
Wow.
Because abductions in the industry got so bad in Atlanta. That's why they moved it away from the city. So it's like,
wild.
yeah, like
I don't know if that was the only reason.
Well, no. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Look, I talked to a very educated scholar about some things about maybe 2 weeks ago. We had a little FaceTime, and really we was talking about a lot of things about kind of like repealing the white supremacy edits of our faith, but it also got into like, yeah, man. I mean, you know, there's some other reasons for, of course, why and interest, but one of the biggest reasons is that abductions were just getting so bad at the Brave Stadium and things like that they wanted to also move it out the city to try to reduce or, you know, because I mean, if you have all the biggest things going on in the city at all the time, it's easy for things to happen, right? So,
but see, I feel like, I'm not saying that's not the case, but for sure you got to think about where the Brave Stadium was, contrary to where everything.
Oh, my church was right by it. Yeah.
I mean, with that,
yeah,
that don't matter.
No,
you know what I mean? People get abducted by church all the time.
I'm just saying. I just know that is there, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying like, so it's, if you would have taken the Braves, if the Brave Stadium was over there where everything else was by the dome and by it'd have been just fine. We're talking about a situation where the area wasn't really dictating what Atlanta wanted to provide. Mm-hmm. Also, on top of the fact that they want to also create extra revenue streams around the Braves, which in case the Battery, there wasn't enough space to do that down there. So we're talking about an economical boost.
Understood.
So they moved them over here for sure, for precautionary safety reasons, but also for a financial boost and what they could bring to Cobb County. When y'all are trying to really establish this as a real major city now, we're starting to see Atlanta start to branch out and these smaller cities. Because back in the day, y'all don't know if y'all from here, like, but
I'm from
this
here.
wasn't
this.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
This was like the
they're starting to really become these major hubs.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing Cobb County have its own little transit situation that has been established. You know, because it's becoming so big and so alarming. So at the end of the day, they really did it for, I would say, more so for a financial reason. I can't say they don't give a damn about people getting abducted.
There's multiple.
It's finances, bro.
I mean, you know, I think there can be multiple reasons. But I mean, I think that that being one of the reasons, honestly, it just makes sense, man. Like, because Atlanta is one of the worst states with all of this stuff. To be honest, like, we are one of the worst. That all this stuff happens. Like,
Atlanta is like damn near number one?
Yeah, on an average, when you go
as far as what?
On an average,
sex trafficking, like, where is it ranked with the
when you on average, if you go to a Greyhound or a Megabus,
they say
on
it's
average,
horrible.
Yeah, they'll say it's probably like 6 people, at least maybe 6 to 2 people there, you know, eyeballing out. You know what I mean?
And see, with Marietta slowly trying to become like the party city now, like Marietta is really trying. It makes me nervous because now we're gonna have more people in the area, and you know, I already don't feel safe jogging. I live, you know, damn near like in the heart of Marietta, like in one of the busiest parts of Marietta. So it's like, like, okay, if I were to ask y'all a question, if I was to ask you what could we do to help prevent sex trafficking and abduction and stuff like that,
I don't know. No, I don't. Like, literally, it's just,
here are the top 10 states with the highest rate for human sex trafficking. Nevada's number 1 with over 100,000 cases. Mississippi is next. Florida, Georgia, Delaware, Ohio, Missouri, California, Texas, and Michigan.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're number 4.
So it's like,
that's wild.
So I mean, yeah, man. I mean, you know, like, again, this is the world we live in. Like, and it's just like, I just want people to wake up and realize this is humanity, and we're going. There's gonna be a lot that has to happen to really change a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we got 407.
It's crazy. What y'all looking at?
I'm looking at like how many cases are just like, even though like Nevada is number 1, they only have like 239 cases. They're basically going off of the rate and not the cases. But like, Georgia has over 400 cases of human trafficking.
Texas has.
In just 2020 alone.
And just think those are just, and just know
California,
and it's just reported. These are the ones that just reported.
For sure.
It increases about 100% every year.
That's just for 2020 thus far.
Millions and millions and millions and millions.
Like,
to be honest, it's like when I look at a lot of I'm not even gonna go into that point, to be honest. But again, so protecting our communities, let's go into that.
How would we protect our community?
Yeah, what did we talk about, the family buying acres of land and everything?
We did.
But we didn't really go too far into it.
Yeah, let's go on to that. I'm getting back.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about forming our own country in the U.S.? Like, do you feel like that can basically be like a solution to some of the problems that we have?
I feel like it's a solution. I don't know necessarily. I can't say for sure if it's the solution. You know what I mean? I have never done it. I don't. You know what I mean? You would have to do it and figure out if it works or if it doesn't. I mean, it could literally cause its own issues too. You have to realize it's about who's running and what system you've created in that. Somebody could create their own, country or civilization within the United States of America, and it still be ran and eventually imploded more or less by its own greed and fear as well. So you have to attack
or destroyed by. think of all the black communities that have been destroyed over the years,
for sure,
right, that have popped up.
See, yeah, we would have to first find someone to actually run it. We would have to sit here and figure out what laws we want to have. We would have to come up with our own money system.
I was about to say, well, most importantly, the economical structure. How do we start? Where's this wealth coming from, per se?
Because if we're gonna make a country, we can't rely on the government anymore.
No, because you're your own country at this point. You would have to go into the country with a certain amount of backing, right, to be able to transfer whatever U.S. funds are to whatever your funds are, and then go from there and build infrastructure. We're talking about buildings. You need architects. You're gonna need,
agriculture. You need food.
Agricultural specialists. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna need scientists. You're gonna need all these things. You need doctors. You're gonna convince a literal large amount of the community to go into these places, create banks, and create these different, infrastructures, and it would take a lot of time. Yeah. I feel like people don't understand. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad idea by any means, but
it takes a lot.
How long is it gonna take you to get to a place where a thriving, independent country?
Yeah, because especially in this society, we are a popcorn generation. So when we see it, we want it, we right then and there. It's like we struggle with patience. So with something so big and something so complex, we would have to be patient. We would need everybody's full support.
It's a lot. But the thing about it is, I remember we were talking about this, and the question that I saw was, where do we go from here?
Oh.
And again, we talk about these ideas and what could work, what wouldn't work, and we're debating about all these different topics and things, but it's not one thing. I need to stress that to people. Understand, it's not one solution. It's not one thing that we can do that's going to fix it. Again, it's a system that was never designed for us to thrive, right? We're talking about when they created this whole, idea of what the United States of America is going to be. All men are created equal while those men had slaves, right? So we were not created or thought of as equal nowhere in the balance of creating this world or the world we live in at the end of the day. So you have to literally dismantle piece by piece all of these kinks and things where they literally didn't implement us or think about us as a whole. We were not thought of as human beings. So, they're shooting us and doing all these things. They're justifying and trying to sway our character because they're trying to dehumanize us. So it's justified.
Yeah, man. I have, man, I'm not even going to go into this, but I think this is, with just some easy research that can be confirmed through interviews with our last president. This is a lot of stuff. I think this is a lot have less to do with race and more with bloodlines. And so I'm just going to leave that there and just go rabbit hole that. But yeah, I do feel like we have a quote unquote superior race or family of people who feel more superior than everybody. But again, go rabbit hole that for yourself. I'm not I'm not getting into that on here.
But before we close, we definitely want to close on some good news, some positive. So, Brandon, you actually know Lecrae, right?
So I don't know. Well, we've had a conversation before about me possibly training, possibly training together. And you know, he went with his old trainer before, but you know, that was pretty much it. But you know, there's other kind of mutual people we know and everything. But no, basically, I'm trying to find the video, to be honest, where he was talking about it. But he's doing a lot of great things in the city of Atlanta, Decatur more specifically. There are some apartments over. There's some like apartments over in Decatur that they're pretty famous. People know of. But where they're just vacant, like a whole block. You know what I'm saying? In Decatur, just vacant stuff. And they've been rebuilding, and they've been rebuilding a lot of Decatur and making these apartments like super, super nice, you know, for people with low income. Like nice to where celebrities would probably live in them. But you know,
but they're low income.
But they only.
That's dope.
But they pay. They pay based, of course, off of their income and things like that. And so I just think that's, you know, a good example of some, you know, good community work going on. I'm pretty sure T.I. got, you know, some things going on. Killer Mike probably got some things going on, and you know, some other folk too. But I just want to shed light, you know, on that. We need more. I think that's the perk. And you know, the thing is, he's not even from Atlanta. You know, he's from you know, Texas. And so it's like, that's the perfect example of what a lot of these music artists and celebrities need to do. Buy these vacant places, buy these.
You know what?
You know, these.
I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine. I was like, bro, don't get me wrong. I am not mad at people who buy restaurants and all these different things. But I'm like, bro, you have millions of dollars. There's so many opportunities. If y'all literally came together and talked and said, let's go in and buy some of these properties up. Because we talk about gentrification. We get mad when they do it. But nobody looked at those places and said, hey, bro, let's buy this and redo these houses. Let's buy this. And we get mad at everybody else. But we are always slow on the draw.
Yeah.
We do all the wrong things with our finances.
Yeah.
And get mad when they buy it up and then move us out. You know what I mean? It takes us out of our financial backing. We can't even afford to live in these areas now once they're done. And they bring in businesses and they bring all these things. And, you know, so the value goes up. Right. And now we're looking like, dang, we done stole grandmama's house, and now what do we really get for it?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I just feel like we got to do a better job of creating, you know, a revenue stream and really going back and taking back our own community, taking pride in it for one. Because we do the
money to do it.
No. But it starts with the smallest things, though, bro.
Of course.
Like, we don't even, like, bro.
We would want to depend on the people with most money, but they all greedy anyway.
I've seen niggas of mine, bro, homies of mine that literally throw shit out of the goddamn window, bro. It pisses me off, bro, in our own spots. I'm like, bro, but you don't take your ass up to Sandy Springs and you don't do that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the small things. We devalue our own communities by the small things we do. I literally saw a woman, I'm in Publix parking lot, bro. She literally drank her drink and dropped it right in front of my car. Now, not to say like it was in front of my car, but the trash can is
dying,
the
y'all.
trash can is right there, bro. I'm like, I literally looked out. I'm like, yo, like, you're lazy as hell. The trash can is right there.
Yeah.
So we take the value of our areas down. They don't cut our grass. We don't have people to really, you know, do these things. And it looks terrible, so we treat it terribly.
And why is it though? A lack of education and knowing,
it's a lack of pride in yourself.
No. Pride. Yeah, no. It is a lot. I mean, look, it's a lot of mental slavery behind that and how we just treat each other. But no, it is that too. Like when people don't know better. Or no.
Oh, no. They know better because they don't do it in the other neighborhoods. Exactly. When they go up to, like I said, Sandy Springs, and they go down to the fucking Battery, they don't do that. So that's my issue. We cannot literally say, oh, they don't know any better. Unless you know better. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying. I guess let me distinguish.
Just articulate.
You got the dumb street nigga, and you got the smart street nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so you got, you know, most people who kind of grown up in these, you know, communities, hood, slums or whatever. It's a cycle all the way from just a sharecropping age and all that stuff. It's literally the mental slavery mindset of not, looking at any type of self-worth, but also as well as a lack of education of how do you even make, money doing this stuff, or how do you, like, it's a combination, bro. I mean, I feel what you're saying. We agree. We agree.
I get I know what you're saying too, but it's just still frustrating. I understand.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. You're a product of your environment. You're a product of what you saw. You're a product of what everybody else has done. Yeah. But it's like at some point, bro. Like I'm telling you, me and my friends, a couple of them have gotten to like. I'm like, bro, pick that stuff up, bro. Yeah, like what?
I don't let people litter around.
No, bro. I literally put that.
That shit wild.
Yeah, bro. It is wild. It's like y'all see what's happening to the earth, right? I mean, you know what I mean?
But they don't see that as a problem for them.
They think, everybody gonna do it. This is what people like. It's niggas die every day, or nobody's gonna do anything,
I hate that shit.
or nobody else is gonna. No, and that's what it is. People don't even realize. Stop waiting on other people to get the program to do stuff. You literally have to be the change that you want to see. But it's weakness. You're weak. You know what I'm saying? You're weak. And it's
gunning for them.
No, I mean? Like, you weak. Bro, you're weak. You're not even a man, bro. Bro, you're not even a man. I can't even call you a man. Like, I want to call you negus. A negus. But you a nigga, like stop. No, you're a coon. That's what it is. Coon. We got coons in our coons. We have to weed out coons in our own community too.
He says coon.
And I'm this guy, right? Like, I'm for my people, whatever. But I also realize we have people that really don't give a damn about their own community or us, or our own people who's working against us as well. You know what I'm saying? And so we gotta really realize, there's just coons that gotta be weeded out. But go ahead.
So a person told me, and this is a black person, they said that the black people who are working against us, or like unteachable, basically, how you try to tell a black person something, they just whatever, that they gotta die in order for us to get to where we need to be or where we want to be, that they have to die. And I'm like,
well, if the human being in me is talking, it's like, well, that sounds very logical, just to weed out, drain the swamp, I think is what the term is. But I'm also a person of faith, so this situation was like, you know what, man, we don't want nobody to die, but we got to try to do our best with the people who have those like minds. You know what I'm saying? And then get to a place where it's like, okay, now we're going to out you. Like, what's up? Like, either you're going to get out of our community or you're going to change with us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we don't have to kill people, but it's like, get out of our community if you're not going to follow suit.
We all got to hold everybody accountable at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's going to take... And I don't want to exclude women. I'm not saying that, but it's gonna take men being men. It's gonna take men saying, "All right, bro, like we're not gonna allow this." You know what I mean? And then, of course, in certain ways that maybe we don't see it, like women should check women and men should check men. We should check each other, period, point blank.
Facts.
And just at the end of the day, say, you know what, we're gonna take back our neighborhoods. Even if they don't cut our grass, we can cut our own grass.
Man, I've done so much yard work growing up. Y'all
we
really
even talking
hiring
about
other people?
Like D-weed, bro, like they're, bro, it's frustrating. It really is so frustrating, bro, because it's like, we are so much better. I met this old head, bro, who's playing golf. This old black dude, bro. He literally looked at me and my brother before he even got done playing. He was like, bro, y'all don't even know the power y'all have, man. He said, y'all don't need them at all. They need you. He said, when y'all realize that, y'all will be so much better off. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, we're waiting for them to help us. We're waiting, and to some extent, we're talking about you need cohesion, but we even talking about on a small level, we can do things on our own to help our own communities out first. It's like we have to do the things first when we expect any help from anyone else.
Exactly.
We got to clean up our own shit. We got to, like police our own people up to a certain degree.
It's funny, when it comes to the topic of voting, we don't got to go deep into this, but a lot of people say like, well, if you don't vote, how are you going to help your community? Yo, like, go use your body. You know what I'm saying? To do something. Like people think just casting a ballot is helping your community. No, like, and not to like, blow up anything I do, but it's like, good example, like teaching. I'm a health and fitness coach, right? Teaching my community and making that out of career, and I do it for free too. How to be healthy, how to be self-sustaining with your health and your mental health, kids and all that. That's gonna help individuals you know, in the community already. That's an example of pouring into community. People think just casting about or waiting for your government to do stuff is help your community. No, man, go put some community service hours in. Go have some meetings on maybe how to teach it. You know, remember, you know, I'm mad I didn't really fall through, but you remember we had folk download the Signal app and, you know, get some people to talk about stuff. What hindered me was that, you know, whole Bolo situation a little bit, but it's like, yeah, like we just got to start getting people, rallying leaders together that are just going to be like, you know what? What are we going to do? What are we going to teach? Who's going to do this? Who's going to teach these group of people this? Who's going to teach these group of people this? And that's just one of our ways that we got to just start and pouring in our communities, man. We got to start teaching our own community stuff. And, you know, go ahead. What's
I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, man, you can do stuff in your own community, man. Stop waiting on the government who has done you so wrong through the centuries. I mean...
Don't allow the white man to come in and save your community.
Yeah, man, like, come on, like, we gotta depend on our own, man. And of course, you know, use our wild allows too.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
No.
Become self-reliant.
Yep.
Keep your people accountable. And live your life as healthy as possible as you can every day. Keep your mental, your physical good every day. And that's it.
Spiritual too, if you got that. Deuces.
And I'm out.
Bye, guys. Till next week.
Peace, love, and hair grace.
That's my line, nigga.
No, it ain't.
Wait, where's my music at?
Come on, Brandon.
Where's it at?
Oh, you fucking up.
Nah, bro. Look,
Tell them the you go to.
Hey.
Oh, the headphones.
I was gonna say you better sing it. Sing it.
He like, oh God.
Been trying to close for 2 minutes now, Brandon. Get together.
Wednesday TL in this.
All right, bye.
Oh.